Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 209 based on novel. So let's start. Good. Brother Xiao Yan is really domineering. You have actually managed to finish off these two old demons with such speed despite fighting against the two of them alone. I wonder just what kind of a commotion this will stir if this matter is transmitted back to the Beast region. Yao Ming was the first to recover and laugh. His heart began to think even more highly of Xiao Yan. Although Yao Ming was an advanced 2-star Dosheng, he was not absolutely confident he could defeat Xiao Yan. Moreover, the longer Yao Ming had been in contact with Xiao Yan, the more he felt that Xiao Yan was unfathomable. Xiao Yan's strength was one of the key reasons why Yao Ming had swiftly chosen to help the Eastern Dragon Island instead of the 3 Great Dragon Islands. Xiao Yan's current strength might only be that of an advanced 1-star Dosheng at this moment, but it was the first time that Yao Ming had met such a young 1-star Dosheng. Who could understand the limit of this kind of monstrous talent? At his level, he not only needed to look at the current situation when befriending others, he needed to look at the other party's potential. From the way Yao Ming saw it, the potential that Xiao Yan possessed was definitely terrifying. Otherwise, he would have difficulty agreeing to attack the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe just after regaining his position. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe was not a faction that was easy to deal with. Being part of the 3 great tribes, the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python tribe was clearly aware of this. The ancient Void Dragon tribe had been in hiding during these years. Hence, the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe had undoubtedly become the true overlord of the magical beast world. Even the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python tribe was a little weaker when compared to them. Xiao Yan, our Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will not rest until we kill you if you dare to kill them. Feng Huang slowly recovered from her shock. She inhaled a deep breath of air and ruthlessly stared at Xiao Yan as she cried out in a deep voice. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe and I have already formed a grudge with each other. Would I dare to appear in front of you if I was really afraid? Xiao Yan faintly smiled upon hearing this threat. He immediately withdrew his smile as he coldly said, I do not wish to waste my breath on you now. Do not doubt my methods. If you are really stubborn, I do not mind being merciless and forcing your Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe to lose a couple pieces of flesh. Feng Huang was startled upon seeing Xiao Yan's uncaring eyes. The curses that had reached her mouth were swallowed back into her stomach. Although she did not know Xiao Yan very well, she was able to sense the dense tone in his words. What are you planning to do? Feng Huang could only furiously cry out after being forced into a helpless situation. Every elite Dosheng was an extremely precious treasure within the tribe, even to a super faction like the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Losing even one Dosheng would undoubtedly cause the Heaven Demon Phoenix to feel the pain of its flesh being cut. If Xiao Yan were to really kill Kun Huang and Ying Huang in anger, the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe would end up vomiting blood. I do not wish to do anything. I only hope that the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will not interfere in the matters of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Xiao Yan grinned and replied. Humph, even if we do not intervene, the Eastern Dragon Island will still not be able to fight the 3 Great Dragon Islands. Do you really think that the Eastern Dragon Island can fight with the combined strength of the 3 Great Dragon Kings by relying on a Dragon Phoenix that has yet to mature? Feng Huang coldly cried out. This is none of your concern. Xiao Yan's eyes looked at Feng Huang as he faintly replied. You have 2 choices now. Either you stay or leave. If you stay, I will join hands with Tribal Chief Yao Ming to capture you. After which, I will kill your so-called Heaven Demon 3 Phoenix. If you chose to leave, please do so immediately. Additionally, help me deliver a message back to the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Tell them not to get involved in matters that do not relate to them. I'm afraid that you do not have the ability to do so. Kun Huang and Ying Huang were merely at a disadvantage from having underestimated their opponent. That is why they were seriously injured by you. After which, you placed a seal on them before they could recover. Although I cannot defeat both you and Yao Ming, the both of you will also suffer if I self-destruct. Feng Huang immediately pressed her brows together after hearing Xiao Yan mention capturing her in such a causal fashion, but she was not an ordinary person either. She coldly laughed as she came up with a plan. You are indeed worthy of being the big sister of the Heaven Demon 3 Phoenix, Xiao Yan laughed. His palm slowly grabbed the heads of Ying Huang and Kuan Huang as he uttered, in that case, you should hurry up and make up your mind. I want to see whether it is faster to self-destruct or for me to shatter the monster cores of these two. Feng Huang's expression changed after hearing this test. She clenched her teeth and stared at Xiao Yang. However, Xiao Yang's expression did not change because of her gaze. He slowly began to increase the grip of his hands. All right, I will agree with you. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will no longer get involved in the matters related to the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Release them and I will bring them back. Feng Huang slumped after facing Xiao Yang for a moment. She finally clenched her teeth and spoke. Ha ha, how decisive. I can release the others but not Zhu Feng and these two. Xiao Yang smiled. His hand reached at the locked space. The panicked Zhu Feng was grabbed by the space around him before being pulled to Xiao Yang's side. After which, Xiao Yang tapped Zhu Feng his hand and sealed the Do Qi within Zhu Feng. It looks like you are not sincere in this transaction. Feng Huang spoke with an icy cool tone. Do you really treat me as a fool? If I hand them over to you, you will return to the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe and make preparations to dispatch even more experts. Xiao Yang coldly laughed as he said, these three people are hostages. If your Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe insists on participating in the matters of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, you can prepare to collect their corpse. However, if you really cease having such thoughts, I will naturally let them go once the ancient Void Dragon tribe's internal chaos is resolved. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe is not an ordinary faction. I understand that I will form an enmity that can never be resolved with you if I kill them. Hence, as long as you do not eat your words, I will definitely keep mine. Whether you believe me or not is your problem. All you need to remember is that I am not having a discussion with you now. Instead, I am threatening you. Xiao Yang's grip on the heads of Ying Huang and Kuan Huang slowly emitted a cracking sound. His eyes were dark and cold as they stared at Feng Huang. Now, you should immediately get back to the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe and get your tribal chief to think through this matter carefully. Do you wish to keep this future tribal chief and these two grand elders, or do you wish to intervene in the matters of the ancient Void Dragon tribe? Feng Huang's body trembled in fury because of Xiao Yang's extremely rude tone. She boasted some status within the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe and the Central Plains. Since when had anyone dared to speak to her like this? However, regardless of how her anger gushed out of her heart, she also understood that the person in control was Xiao Yang. Moreover, if Xiao Yang was to really join hands with Yao Ming, she would likely end up in their hands unless she chose to self-destruct. The empty realm was completely quiet. Everyone had been violently shaken by Xiao Yang's words. Hand the people to me. I will carry your words back. Feng Huang inhaled a deep breath of air before she finally opened her mouth and spoke with a gloomy expression. Xiao Yang waved his sleeve. The distorted space cage immediately disappeared. A wind pushed all of the experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe to Feng Huang's side. However, Zhu Feng, Kuan Huang, and Ying Huang were still in Xiao Yang's hands. Elder Feng Huang. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe elders stood beside Feng Huang in embarrassment. It was unexpected that they had become the hostages of another. Shut up, you pieces of trash! Feng Huang was extremely furious at this moment. She immediately cursed out loud, causing the faces of those elders to alternate between white and green, but none of them dared to say anything more. Xiao Yang, you are really bold. My Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will remember this. If anything happens to them, our Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will never rest until you are dead. Feng Huang's icy-cold eyes landed on Xiao Yang as she cried out in a cold voice. Her heart felt stifled. This time around, she had gone through much difficulty to lead this group out, but it was unexpected that they had ended up meeting this nemesis soon after stepping into the empty realm. Not only had they lost some people, but the other party had taken 3 of them as hostages. She wondered just how many strange looks she would receive if she returned in defeat. Ha ha, Elder Feng Huang, you can rest assured that as long as the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe keeps its word, I will definitely guarantee their safety. Xiao Yang smiled. He immediately changed his tone as he said, I will constantly monitor the activities of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. If there is anything amiss, I will deliver a head to you. The corner of Feng Huang's mouth twitched. Fury shot out of her eyes, but she ultimately suppressed the fury in her heart. Her hand violently slid across the empty space in front of her and a spatial crack appeared. Her body entered the crack without any hesitation. The so-called elders of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe behind her hurriedly poured in like a school of fish. All of them were afraid of Xiao Yang striking them at this moment. The entire space became quiet after the final Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe expert disappeared into the spatial crack. Yao Ming blinked his eyes. He involuntarily laughed out loud a moment later. Brother Xiao Yang, Yao Ming, have seldom admired anyone, but I have no choice but to do so this time around. This Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe has suffered a great loss this time around. I wonder just how many people will quietly laugh at them if this matter spreads through the Beast region. Yao Ming lifted his thumb to Xiao Yang and laughed. Xiao Yang slightly smiled. He tossed the 3 people in his hands to the elders from the 9 serene deep-ground Python tribe. The elders hurriedly caught them. An elite Dosheng is not someone that can simply be created at will. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe's foundation will suffer a great blow if they lose these 2 old ghosts. This loss is something that they cannot accept. Xiao Yang smiled as he spoke. Hardly any faction on the continent could afford the price of 2 genuine Doshengs. Even the Sky Mansion would truly lose its limbs if it lost the first elder from the small Pearl Tower or ancestor Huayun. What should we do now? Yao Ming grinned and asked. Head to the Eastern Dragon Island. Xiao Yang softly sighed. The smile on his face was slowly withdrawn. His eyes looked to the deepest part of the empty realm. Based on what Feng Huang had said earlier, the Eastern Dragon Island had been surrounded by the 3 Great Dragon Islands. Ziyang might also be in danger. Let's not delay any longer and get moving. Xiao Yang began to frown slightly after thinking of her being surrounded. He waved his hand and ceased remaining any longer. His body moved, and he rushed to the deepest part of the empty realm at full speed. Yao Ming, the little fairy doctor, Qing Lin, and the rest quickly followed behind. Ziyang, nothing must happen to you. A cluster of lights flashed across the empty realm. Its speed was as quick as lightning. In a flash, it appeared at the edge of the darkness before finally disappearing. Brother Xiao Yang, with our speed, we should be able to reach the Eastern Dragon Island in another 10+ minutes. Yao Ming lifted his eyes and looked in the distance where the flowing light was. He turned his head and spoke to Xiao Yang beside him. Let's increase our speed. Xiao Yang slightly nodded. His eyes looked to the depths of the darkness as the fist in his sleeve was slowly clenched. He waved his sleeve and his speed once again soared. Yao Ming and the rest could only hurriedly follow him upon seeing him go even faster. Wait, there is a familiar aura. This flight continued for a couple of minutes before Xiao Yang's body suddenly stilled. He frowned as he looked to a part of the empty realm to his left. Bang! An intense energy explosion was emitted from within the empty space. Immediately, a figure spat out blood and pulled back, falling into a group of people. The figure's face was pale as his eyes furiously looked around him. Over 10 figures appeared in the surroundings a moment later. All of their auras were extremely powerful. Clearly, they were all very strong, especially the 2 elders leading them. Their auras appeared ordinary, but there was a terrifying pressure spreading from them. They were surprisingly 2 peak experts who had reached the Bansham class. 3 Great Dragon Islands, you people are really bold to attack Her Majesty, the Dragon Emperor. There were around 7 to 8 figures surrounded by the 10 individuals, but most of them were seriously injured. There were 2 familiar faces among these people. If one were to carefully look at them, they were He Qing, who had helped Xiao Yang a couple of times, and Elder Zhu Li, whom Xiao Yang had met once before. Only these 2 within the group appeared to be in a slightly better state, but their faces were currently extremely gloomy. They had been out on patrol. Who would have expected them to learn of the 3 large Dragon Islands attack on the Eastern Dragon Island upon returning from the patrol? Before they could hurry back with great speed, they ended up meeting this group from the three large dragon islands, which had sealed the eastern dragon island. A big battle immediately erupted. The result was something that need not be mentioned. With two Banshengs, the other party had easily defeated them and had chased them here. Clearly, the other party was planning on eliminating all of them. Zhu Li, the three great dragon kings are the true rulers. You people have found some fake from an unknown place in an attempt to unite the ancient void dragon. It is really too naive of you. A man wearing battle armor mockingly glanced at Zhu Li and laughed. He was one of the commanders of this unit and possessed the strength of an intermediate Bansheng. You would know better than I do in your hearts whether it is a fake. It looks like you people have already forgotten the rules of our tribe under the rule of the three great dragon kings. Zhu Li's expression was gloomy as he commented on the situation. That old armored man frowned slightly upon hearing these words. His expression was a little unnatural. Within the ancient Void Dragon tribe, the royal clan held absolute authority over the ordinary tribe members. The pressure that originated from within the bloodline caused an ordinary tribe member to be afraid of fighting against the royal clan. The two of them possessed a high status within the three great dragon islands. Naturally, they also understood that the young dragon emperor on the eastern dragon island did indeed possess an extremely pure royal bloodline, but they had been ruled by the three dragon kings for many years, so their way of thinking had been altered. They might not dare to directly attack that young dragon emperor, but they did not feel much fear while attacking the others. Xian, do not waste your breath with this old fellow. Quickly finish them off. The resistance from the eastern dragon island is more intense than we expected. We must return quickly. A red-faced old man impatiently waved his hand and cried out as he stood beside that old armored man. Two old bastards, your three great dragon island do not have the ability to destroy my eastern dragon island. Once the dragon emperor becomes stronger, your three great dragon islands will simply wait to die. Qing furiously cursed. That is only if you can wait until that time comes, the red-faced old man coldly laughed. His eyes immediately turned cold as he threw a palm at Qing across the empty space. A frightening wind tore through the air and swiftly smashed into Qing's body with lightning-like speed. The current Qing might have reached the 8th change peak of the Dozun class, but how could he compare with a high-level Bansheng? The armor on his body immediately crumbled. A large mouthful of blood was spat out as his body collided with a few other tribe members behind him. You old fellow who doesn't know his limit. How dare you roar at this elder? That red-faced old man coldly laughed with disdain after causing Qing to spit out blood and fly back with a palm. You damn bastard. Qing's eyes immediately turned red after suffering this heavy blow. His body suddenly swelled to twice its size. Kill all of them. Do not allow anyone to live. The red-faced old man coldly smiled and shook his head upon seeing Qing go mad. He simply waved his hand and gave a command. How dare you? Zhu Li became furious. A monstrous Do Chi erupted as he threw a punch forward. A vast and mighty Do Chi gathered into a 1,000-foot large dragon that crazily charged toward the red-faced old man. Roar! The body of that old armored man swelled as Zhu Li attacked. In the blink of an eye, he turned into a half-man half-dragon combat state. He roared at the sky before shooting forward like a cannonball. With just a punch, he completely shattered the giant energy dragon. Zhu Li, both of our strengths are similar. How will you fight me now that you are injured? That elder, who had turned into a half-dragon, stepped through empty air. His body strangely appeared above Elder Zhu Li's head as a large dragon claw violently tore through the air. It was accompanied by an extremely sharp wind. Bang! Elder Zhu Li clenched his teeth as this extremely ferocious attack came down from above. An armor with dragon symbols on it appeared around his body. After which, the armor appeared like a furious dragon as it violently collided with that half-dragon elder. Bang bang! That red-faced elder coldly smiled and waved his sleeve as Elder Zhu Li engaged that half-man half-dragon elder in an intense battle. Each time he did so, a warrior from the eastern dragon island spit out blood and fall back. The armor on their bodies would also explode. Finally, the warriors from the three great dragon tribes would pounce on that warrior from the eastern dragon island. I will fight with you until the end. A fierce fury immediately erupted within He Qing's eyes after seeing his tribe members being captured one after another. A crazy punch smashed into two figures heading his way, causing them to vomit blood and fly back. His foot stomped through the air as his body shot toward that red-faced elder with lightning-like speed. An ant-like existence actually dares to challenge me. The red-faced old man coldly laughed and shook his head upon seeing this attack. He clenched his fist and dense scales swiftly appeared. He quickly threw a punch as a deep sonic boom formed under his fist with a bang. After which, it collided with He Qing, who had explosively shot over. Bang! This hard collision caused the red-faced elder's body to barely tremble. He also took half a step back. On the other hand, He Qing's arm revealed a vein and emitted a puff sound as it shot out many blood arrows. The vague sound of bones cracking also appeared. His hand feebly fell as his body flew back a distance of 10,000 feet. Only then did he slowly come to a halt. He Qing remained suspended in the empty realm with blood covering his body. The strength in his body had been shattered by a punch from the red-faced old man. If his physical body wasn't extremely strong, that punch would likely have blasted his body apart. Am I going to die? He Qing's eyes gradually became blurry. At this moment, he had been seriously injured by that red-faced old man. Although he felt dissatisfied in his heart, he also understood that there was an extremely big gap between him and the other party. Relax, I will throw you into the dragon tomb once you are dead. It can be considered a resting place for you. The space in front of He Qing fluctuated as the red-faced elder appeared. His eyes were cold and indifferent as they looked at He Qing. After which, he slowly lowered his body and placed his hand gently above He Qing's head. A cold glint surged within his somewhat turbid eyes. Huazhan, the Dragon Emperor will not let you off if you dare to kill him. Elder Zhu Li, who was being dragged into distance, felt his body turn icy cold upon seeing He Qing's situation. His eyes were blood-red as he roared. He, the Dragon Emperor? That is only if she can survive the combined strength of the three Dragon Kings. That red-faced old man shook his head and ridiculed. He lowered his head and looked at He Qing, who was planning to gather his strength to unleash an attack. He continued with pity in his voice, "You are really an extremely hard character. Unfortunately, you have chosen the wrong side." He Qing shook his head somewhat impatiently after uttering those words. He grabbed the top of He Qing's head and slowly used his strength. The victory this time around belongs to the three great dragon islands, but you can rest assured that many people will accompany you. At the very least, you will not feel lonely. A cruel smile surfaced on the red-faced old man's face. His sharp fingers gently pressed down and formed 5 bloody holes in He Qing's head, but he suddenly sensed a somewhat icy-cold hand quietly land on his head as he was about to shatter He Qing's head. At the same time, a soft voice was slowly transmitted into his ear. His body completely stilled like a statue. Tell me, do you think that you will be able to shatter his head faster than me doing the same to yours? He Qing, who had already shut his eyes to await death, suddenly opened both of his eyes upon hearing the soft voice that did not contain any anger. A familiar skinny figure was appeared in his eyes. Xiao Yan? He Qing's eyes were extremely stunned as he looked at the skinny figure, who had appeared beside him, especially when he saw that the figure's hand was gently pressing down on the red-faced old man's head. His eyelids involuntarily twitched. Who are you? I am Elder Huazhan from the northern Dragon Island. The red-faced old man's body completely stilled at this moment. His body did not dare move even a bit. He could sense the frightening strength of the hand on his head. His heart clearly understood that his head would explode into a cluster of bloody fog if this hand gently shook. Just where has this monster come from? Why was I not able to sense his approach? The eyes of the red-faced old man continued to flicker. His expression was also rapidly changing. Release your hand. Xiao Yan indifferently glanced at the old man and gave him a command. The red-faced old man's expression changed. He quickly rotated his eyes. I will count to 3 and we will release together. What do you say? Xiao Yan, kill him. He is an elite Bansheng from the Northern Dragon Island and has a much higher status than me. It is worthwhile to exchange my life for his. He Qing's face turned purple as he softly roared. The red-faced old man's eyes turned cold. He immediately felt the desire to shatter He Qing's head, but he could only suppress the murderous desire in his heart the moment he thought about this mysterious person who was someone he had never met. He asked in a deep voice, "What do you think?" "All right," Xiao Yan smiled. "All right, 1, 2, 3. The red-faced elder rejoiced. 3 numbers were quickly uttered from his mouth. After the last number sounded, he felt that icy-cold hand above his head indeed shift. He hurriedly tossed He Qing aside and flew away with lightning-like speed. "May I know who this friend is? This matter is entirely a matter of our ancient Void Dragon tribe. Friend, I hope that you will not intervene. The Dragon Kings of the 3 Great Dragon Islands are only a short distance away. If they are attracted here, I think that it will be extremely difficult for you to escape." The red-faced man managed to clearly see the person who had intervened earlier after flying away. He was immediately startled after seeing that this person was so young. His voice was deep as he spoke. Xiao Yan acted as though he did not hear the red-faced man's cry. He lowered his body and helped He Qing up. After which, he took out a medicinal pill and stuffed it into He Qing's mouth. He laughed. "How is it?" "It isn't enough to kill me." He Qing bitterly smiled and shook his head. He looked at the red-faced old man and regretfully said, "You should have killed him earlier. This person is an elite Bansheng. Killing him would have been equivalent to cutting off the flesh of the Northern Dragon Island. This kind of opportunity is not something that you can find all the time." He Qing's voice contained a feeling of great disappointment. From the way he saw it, using his life in exchange for that of an elite Bansheng was incredibly worthwhile. "Huazhong, what happened?" This unexpected change was also sensed by the half-dragon elder who was fighting with Elder Zhu Li. He frowned and cried out loud. His attacks remained extremely ruthless as he spoke. His dragon claws were swung and a sharp wind forced Elder Zhu Li into a somewhat miserable state. Elder Zhu Li had been injured to begin with, so he was unable to defeat the other party. "A problem has occurred." The red-faced old man, who was called Huazhong, stared intently at Xiao Yan. He could sense a vague pressure from Xiao Yan. Hence, he did not dare to be careless as he replied in a deep voice. "Bang!" That half-dragon elder frowned upon hearing this. He suddenly threw a palm and forced Elder Zhu Li back. His eyes looked over and finally landed on Xiao Yan. Those eyes immediately narrowed as he cried out in a cold voice, "Friend, interfering in the matters of my ancient Void Dragon tribe in this empty realm is not a smart decision." "Xiao Yan?" Elder Zhu Li had also used this opportunity to sigh in relief. He looked at the human figure beside He Qing and was also greatly surprised, but he appeared to have recalled something as his expression changed. His body moved and appeared beside Xiao Yan. He said, "Why have you come here? The matter here is not something that you can intervene with. Bring He Qing and leave. I will protect you." "Trying to escape? How can it be so easy? Friend, this is your last chance." The red-faced old man's eyes gradually revealed some unfriendliness as he stared at Xiao Yan and spoke. "An intermediate Bansheng actually dares to act arrogantly in front of me." Xiao Yan slightly frowned. He suddenly took a step forward, and his body disappeared in an instant. The expression of the red-faced old man drastically changed upon watching Xiao Yan disappear. His body turned into a ray of light that hurriedly pulled back, but his body had just moved when a large hand penetrated the space in front of him and landed above his head. At the same time, an ice-cold voice was transmitted through the air. "Move again and you will die." The red-faced old man's eyes were shocked as he looked at the figure that had slowly appeared from the empty space in front of him. A moment later, his somewhat hoarse voice slowly seeped out from between his teeth, You are an elite Dosheng." The red-faced old man was not the only one who was stunned by Xiao Yan's attack. Even He Qing and Elder Zhu Li were completely astounded as they watched Xiao Yan move. They were unable to recover. When Xiao Yan had left the Eastern Dragon Island back then, he had merely been a 5-star dozun. In just a couple of years, he had leaped from a 5-star dozun to a dosheng. Damn, how can he expect one to continue living? He Qing muttered in stunned disbelief. He had trained for many years, but he had only managed to climb to the 8th change peak of the dozun class. There was still a great distance to the bansheng class. In the end, Xiao Yan, who had been weaker than him back then, had already advanced beyond him. Xiao Yan pressed his hand against the head of the red-faced old man. He glanced at the red face that was gradually turning pale. After which, his finger gently pressed on the old man's forehead. With the press of this finger, a bloody hole ended up forming on the forehead of the red-faced old man. The aura of the old man's body quickly became weak. Xiao Yang randomly touched the man's body with his hand and a symbol appeared on the red-faced old man's forehead, sealing his do qi. Xiao Yan completed all of these actions before grabbing the red-faced old man to move. He appeared beside He Qing and randomly tossed that old man over. He laughed, "There is no need to sacrifice your life to capture him." He Qing was a little dull as he received the red-faced old man, who was in an unknown condition. The powerful and untouchable elite bansheng in his eyes had become this useless in Xiao Yang's hands. Within a couple of minutes, that person, who had been acting high and mighty earlier, was no different than a dead dog. Elder Zhu Li by the side also quietly swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Even at his peak condition, he would have had to experience a bitter battle in order to defeat this person, yet in Xiao Yang's hands. This fellow, just how has he trained? He has reached this level within a short few years. No wonder he is a friend of the Dragon Emperor. He is indeed extraordinary. Withdraw. That half-dragon elder in the distance was stunned because of this scene. He recovered a moment later and a chill surged from his feet into his heart. A stern cry was decisively emitted from his mouth. Since the other party was able to capture Huazhong with such ease, that person was definitely a genuine dosheng. An expert of that level was not someone they could deal with. Remaining behind would only be sharing the same fate as Huazhong. The half-dragon elder was the first to pull back after his cry sounded. Within a couple of flashes, he had appeared at the edge of the darkness. He needed to report this matter as soon as possible. At that time, there would naturally be some experts from the island who would finish this brat off. Xiao Yang, do not allow them to escape. Otherwise, they may end up alerting the enemy. Elder Zhu Li hurriedly cried out while feeling startled. He had not expected that old fellow to simply just run away. Xiao Yang grinned and nodded, but he did not move. His eyes glanced in the direction of the fleeing group. Around 2 minutes or so later, a ray of light suddenly flashed. Many figures rushed over from that direction and appeared in front of everyone. It was surprisingly Yao Ming's group. At this moment, they were holding some people in their hands. That half-dragon elder, who had fled earlier, was also among them. Ha ha, this old fellow is really cunning, but what can he do with just the strength of a mere bansheng? Yao Ming threw the half-dragon elder, who had been beaten unconscious, to Xiao Yang and laughed. Xiao Yang received this elder and sealed his do qi up. After which, he tossed this person to He Qing. His eyes landed on Elder Zhu Li as he laughed. This is the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python Tribe's chief, Yao Ming. 9 Serene Deep Ground Python Tribe. Zhu Li's expression changed slightly upon hearing this. His eyes cautiously looked at Yao Ming as he said, "It is rumored that the 3 large dragon islands have dispatched people to ask for other tribes' cooperation to deal with our eastern dragon island. Ha ha, this elder need not be worried. The one who agreed to cooperate with the 3 large dragon islands was that useless brother of mine. However, I have regained my tribal chief position from him." Yao Ming smiled and replied. "Now, I have been invited by brother Xiao Yang. If the Eastern Dragon Island does not despise this help, my 9 Serene Deep Ground Python tribe can lend you a hand." Elder Zhu Li was startled upon hearing this offer. His eyes landed on Xiao Yang. Only after seeing Xiao Yang nod with a smile did he reveal an expression of wild joy. Their Eastern Dragon Island desperately needed reinforcements. "What is the situation of the Eastern Dragon Island like now?" Xiao Yang asked. Elder Zhu Li softly sighed and shook his head. His voice was low and deep, very bad. The three great dragon islands have poured all over this place. They have made up their minds to kill the Dragon Emperor before she can truly reach her peak. The Eastern Dragon Island is in complete chaos. The Dragon Emperor has been surrounded by the three great dragon kings. A grave expression appeared on Xiao Yan's face. The situation of the Eastern Dragon Island was worse than he had imagined. Go, let's head to the Eastern Dragon Island. Xiao Yan slowly exhaled. The fist under his sleeve was slowly tightened. Regardless of how strong the three great dragon kings were, it was impossible for him to simply ignore Zi Yan's. This video will end here.